All right, welcome to another Trauma Talk radio segment. I am here with Mr. Kingdom. Welcome. And my question for you today is, what is trauma to you and how has it impacted your life?
Well, trauma for me is a silent killer. Trauma is hard to identify, and when you're battling with it, it's really hard to communicate it. So for me personally, I've had to deal with the trauma of health and transitioning to be more health aware, having more health awareness in my food choices, and trying to communicate that to my family. And it's seeming to be very traumatic for them to release their relationship to the food, to the detrimental foods, to the sweets, the sugars, the processed foods. Things that we grew up as delicacies in our community that has been silent killers, traumatizing us religiously. So, coming with this new awareness, shout out the great Dr. Sabi, because once he transitioned, I really, took it upon myself, like I have to be the change in my generation. And I always thought about the quality of life. It doesn't matter if I can make it to 90. I don't want to be on diabetes. I don't want to be in a wheelchair. I want a high quality of life versus just a longevity of life. So just transitioning and teaching my family, it was hard. Going to barbecues, being laughed at, being talked about. What you gonna eat? Rabbit food. Trying to bring vegan food, and people like, oh, what is that? It's white people food. They don't want to eat it. To now, my grandmother is coming to ask me about herbs that can help her from diabetes. Auntie is trying a plant-based diet. Uncle, who is in fear of losing his leg, coming and trying to figure out what can he eat to kind of heal himself. So, trauma is something that, it takes one to be courageous enough to deal with the trauma that they're dealing with and try to help their family. But it can be so transformative. Trauma can be transformative if we start to address it and redress it with the healing modalities and making it a cultural norm to, highlight what trauma has done to make us detrimental to ourselves, and highlight what readdressing the trauma in a positive way to put us in a whole new spectrum of health and wellness and community. So, I have a unique relationship with trauma, and I know a lot of us do. But what I can say is we got to stop running from it. Trauma is there, just like sickness. Cancer cells are always there, but it's just about if the cancer cells become unbalanced. And that's just like trauma. Trauma is there, but we have to address the trauma, and we have to redress the trauma, right? To heal the trauma, put it in a new light, right? The light just went out, right? So,
It sure did.
That's how trauma is.
We're done with you talking about the trauma. I think that's what the light was saying. I love it. So there's quite a couple things that you said that I just really wanted to highlight. I love how you said that trauma is silent. And sometimes when you're battling with it, it's challenged to identify and communicate. And then how your experience was with health and food related. And the thing is, immediately I was like, yeah, because when it's hard to identify and communicate it, we often medicate it with food. So that's why it's hard to give up those foods that's not healthy for us, because in many ways we've used it for so long to be a form of medicating that pain of the trauma that's hard for us to identify and communicate. And so I commend you for your courage to dig deep in that introspective journey and really connect with the trauma to confront it and then transform it into something positive. And now you're being a beacon light for your family. And then once you were ridiculed, but now you're the one you're being the one that's responsible for leading them in that direction now that they see the health, the component, and the which you said, the quality of life that is giving you rather than just longevity of life. So those are some great key points.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever work you're doing, we really appreciate it, because like we talked earlier, that's one of the big horrible norms of our communities. We sweep things under the rug and we don't talk about trauma.
Right.
But trauma happens. It's just how you're going to redress the trauma.
Right.
That transforms the trauma into something positive. So
yeah.
Appreciate
absolutely.
the work that you and your families do.
Yeah, and likewise. And thank you so much for sharing your story today. I'm sure is giving some of our viewers some inspiration and empowerment to do the same. Something they may have been going back and forth, and now they can actually make a decision. You know what? I'm just gonna do it.
Be the change so you can make a way for the next generation.
Right.
That's what it's all about. We all dealing with trauma, but who's going to be the one that addresses the trauma and redresses the trauma? Be that one.
Yeah.
Tap in what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Learn more how to do that. And you'll be great. You'll be saving the next generation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
thank you for chiming in. Please subscribe to this channel, like this post, leave a comment, and share this video clip with 3 of your friends. Then join me on Mondays for Trauma Talk Radio live broadcast for more conversations about overcoming the traumas of life.